situation, maybe a regular here at this bar. She says a lot of the employees that came here, they say that they didn't even get a chance to bring their wallets, so she's actually pouring.
This is live from WTMJ in Milwaukee. There has been a mass shooting at the Molson Coors headquarters, which is like the center of culture in Milwaukee because it's Brew City. 7 people, including the shooter, dead at the Molson. It used to be Miller Coors, Molson Coors now, but it's a huge part of Milwaukee, a huge employer in Milwaukee. And so they're just running live coverage up there. The Chicago affiliates are running it, and TMJ in Milwaukee's running it. Anchors are just kind of vamping because they're just kind of looking over the B-roll of what's going on.
They're like at a restaurant and people flood there?
Nearby, like where employees would go and eat and things like that.
And as you know, as we have been following this story for the last hour or so now, as these details come out and what the Journal Sentinel is reporting, that 7 are killed, including the shooter in this situation. This active shooting situation has now become a mass shooting here in Milwaukee, as we see a number of law enforcement, ATF, FBI, sort of wrapping up in this particular situation. We have seen a number of visuals from that location as they were getting in place to see what was going on. And Steve Peterson joins us again. He is with, or used to be with the Waukesha County.
Well, anyway, that's going on now. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people. 6 people in the shooter at the Molson Coors Brewing Company in Milwaukee.
It's been a while since we had one. Is that too
a
soon
mass
to say?
shooting?
Yeah. Well, since one has made the news.
Made the news, yeah.
Who's smoking pot? I smell a lot of pot. it hit me like out of nowhere.
Guns, guns, guns.
I don't know.
They got someone real.
Maybe
here.
Real is doing a live performance down the hall.
You always know when they have an interview because I'm like, honey, fire, boom, boom, boom.
Smoke weed every day.
Always.
I did hear, we were talking about the coronavirus overseas. It is on 6 continents now, and I heard from Dan, who is our bureau chief in Poundcake. We've met him. He's come out to the bar crawl when he's in the country. I think he's with the Army, but he does work for the Marine Corps. He's like Army Corps of Engineers or something. And he is over in South Korea, and he said he's working from home. The base I work on has been reduced to mission essential personnel. And what normally takes a 30-minute commute has been taking people 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
So they've got, obviously, people on base. They've got security and medical staff who are screening people going in and out. Schools have been closed. He said there's also a cult connection here in Korea, specifically in another city. A lead investigator from the Ministry of Justice who had been looking into the virus jumped off a bridge.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's like, it's pretty bad news out here in South Korea. And you've heard a couple of those kinds of stories, too. And that's the trouble when you live in a country where...
Stop looking.
Huh?
Oh, that clicking.
That's the mouse.
Oh, my
It's
God.
Bill.
I couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
Look at him smoking crack.
That's the trouble when you live in a country where they try to suppress information. That's why our own president's tendencies are not good when you're trying to just, say that actual information's fake or whatever, because it impairs the ability of people to get actual information. That's what's making it real hard over in China, because they were like, no, everything's fine. Everything's good, like shutting off the internet and things like that. Then you've got 57,000 people that have the coronavirus or whatever.
This is scary, man.
So there's Dan over in, he's our bureau chief over in South Korea, who checks in from time to time.
This is going to sound so, privileged, I guess. It's like, they just shut off the internet. They just do that. They're like, you're not allowed to receive information because we said so. People live their lives like that.
Sure.
I mean, you don't think about that kind of stuff. People
Did they not pay their bill or something?
That's what I'm saying. I get annoyed when I'm in an area that doesn't have good service, and I'm like aggravated that my post won't go through to Instagram, and it's prime posting time, so I need to get it on now to get the most likes. And someone in China's like, "Hi, I could die, and I'm not allowed to look it up."
I know.
Like that's insane.
But everyone's complaints are relative to their situation.
I know, but it makes me feel like an
understand.
entitled POS.
I understand.
Like,
yeah. I was watching a thing on 60 Minutes about silver mines or diamond mines. It wasn't diamond, gold mining in like South Africa. And these guys are just, and I know anybody, even locally, who works in a mine, right? You're like, oh my God, that's not as big of a job as it used to be. I mean, like, not as many people do that job.
You don't think about that when you're like
but you
shopping
like these,
for jewelry.
Well, that's what I mean. And like these guys who are trying to mine whatever metal we need for iPhones, it's like 1,000 degrees under there. I'm like, oh my God. Like if that was your job every day?
It's unbelievable.
I'm moving a little slow tonight. I had a Hot Pocket for dinner. Good to see I'm not the only white trash here. I buy the Hot Pockets. I go in grocery stores. I'm like, yeah, I get these. I've never eaten a Hot Pocket and then afterwards been, I'm glad I ate that. I'm always like, I'm gonna die. I paid for that? Did I eat it or rub it on my face? My back hurts. Ow.
Jim Gaffigan, of course, classic Hot Pocket bit.
Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket. And I saw that the heir to the Hot Pocket's fortune got 5 months in that college scandal, paying to get your kids into colleges.
Oh, really?
She covered. I would have loved to hear her side of things.
Lori Loughlin and her husband are still going through whatever they're going through because they took too long in pretending that they didn't know what was going on. They didn't take plea deals early on, and that so they're going through the whole thing. Michelle Janabs is an heiress to a frozen foods fortune, which includes Hot Pockets. She got 5 months in prison for paying $100,000 to fix her daughter's college entrance exams, and then agreed to pay $200,000 to sneak one of her daughters into USC as a bogus beach volleyball player. And they were all dealing with that same guy at USC. It's just amazing to me that all these people wanted... First of all, you don't think your kids are good enough to get into a college. That's fundamentally the issue here.
Well, the college you want them in.
Right.
Which is USC, for God's sake. It's not Harvard.
We're talking
USC, all these people were trying to get their kids into. Oh, I got to get them into USC.
That's a pretty tough school to get into. You got
but
UCLA and USC.
Is it jail worthy?
But it's not Harvard or Yale or UC or anything.
Yeah, but they had a system set up that you could bribe your way in,
and that's how they know.
Probably
every school has a system like that.
But I'm sure it's the location, man.
Yeah,
it's right in the heart of Hollywood. That's right downtown.
But who cares?
I'm just saying the access there. There's Hollywood directors that teach at the school. Like there's an in through the entertainment business. So
yeah, just like every other school in LA, like Pepperdine, like UCLA, like Irvine. I mean, these people weren't
going to jail for Pepperdine.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, isn't that like a Mormon school or something? Pepperdine's like a private religious. But it's beautiful. You ever been to Pepperdine?
No.
Oh my God, it's not evangelical. It's like Methodist or something. But it's beautiful. It's like overlooking Malibu, and oh my God, Pepperdine's gorgeous.
Talking about China shutting off the internet. As soon as you played that Jim Gaffigan clip, the first thing on my Instagram is a sponsored ad for Jim Gaffigan.
Hey, there you go. Always listening.
That's what I'm saying.
Is the internet?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, what are you listening to? Let's sell you things. China. Nope. You don't get information.
Hey, do you like Jim Gaffigan? Do you like let's see if Hot Pockets shows up in your advertisements.
Hot Pockets, they have a warning printed on the side. So, warning, you just bought Hot Pockets. Hope you're drunk or heading home to a trailer. Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets show up?
Not yet.
All right. Well, maybe they will.
A drop shoulder striped cut sweater did, though.
You're not going to be able to wear that after eating a couple of Hot Pockets. So I just love that the heir to the Hot Pockets fortune is in the news.
Prison.
5 months for trying to rig her two daughters' ACT exams. I didn't know
ACT is the easy one.
I didn't know that was even still a thing. I thought it was all SATs now.
ACT, I only had to take the ACT because I was going to school in state.
I took
SAT
both
is if
when
you
I didn't know what I was
go.
going to do.
SAT is if you want to go out of state.
I took ACT. That's all you have to really take. SAT. I mean, they make it
I
out.
think you have to take the SAT if you're going out of state because not every state does ACT.
I took SAT because my parents wanted me to go to school in like Utah or Idaho, so I took that. But I also just filled it in and left.
I think I got like a 32 on my ACT.
Oh my gosh, you can only get a 36. Goddamn, Mary.
Yeah, I was smart as hell, man. I'm telling you.
Damn, you dumb bitch. Makes me angry.
Dumb bitch. I'm the opposite of
I
dumb.
know. That's why I can say it because I know it's not true.
Yeah. I never took the SAT though. My older sister got a really high score on hers. I don't remember what it was, 14 something.
You could have had a scholarship.
That's a good score.
Now I'm with your dad. You could have gone anywhere in the country almost.
You're not getting any of my money when I'm famous either.
I'm just saying. You're really, really bright. You want to do comedy.
Yes.
I'm kidding. No,
That's
I know.
how smart I am.
I already know how it felt when my mom was like, "Oh, you want to do broadcasting?"
I made $97 tax last night.
Mm-hmm.
$97 tax?
Taxed.
Taxed.
Yes.
Okay.
So take that.
I was like, my mom want to do communication. She's like, "Oh, you mean like PR?" I mean, no, like radio. She's like, "Oh, okay."
Interesting.
Cool.
Well, my parents had to be supportive because I wouldn't do anything else. I forced them. They tried
Like, listen, it's not happening.
they tried to get me to go to college. They tried to get me to do school stuff. The whole, was it the auctioneer school that my mom tried to sign me up for?
Auctioneer school?
Yeah. She's like, you got a microphone, you're in front of people. It might come in
Same
hand.
thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, I went in there. I was there for like half an hour. Like, they got through their opening spiel, and I was like, hey, this isn't for me. And they're like, okay, here's your refund. And I took it back to her. And I was like, no.
55 and $60.
Should've had to look them like this.
Go 65 and 70, go 75, make it 5, 75, go $80 bid.
She was very upset.
My uncle is an auctioneer.
Yeah, well, she's like, you can make a lot of money doing this. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how I make my money. I want to do what I want to do.
Right.
I see what Dad does, and he made a great living, provided for all of us, but it sucked the joy out of him, and I don't want that kind of life.
I mean, regardless of how much money I make, I'm still in the 1% of my class, as in someone who like got hired in their field of study.
You're welcome.
No, thank you. Honestly, and I got hired before I graduated, so I do have you to thank for that. But I know, I mean, I had the biggest class of, like, for the School of Communication in Akron's history. We had, like, 600 or 700 or something like that. And, like, I would say most of those people that did have jobs lined up, they had to go out of state. And then the ones that didn't, I mean, they're probably working in sales or something now.
I remember one of the hottest kids in my high school got like an 11 on the ACT, and we were like,
Why did he tell
what?
me?
But he's hot. Yeah, how do you
He
know
was
that?
so hot.
But-
I think he like
figured
told
he didn't need
some
to do well on
right.
the ACT.
I got a B.
You got a B?
How can you have an
On the
11?
ACT.
You all you do is lie in your name.
Yeah, I
get
remember
higher scores
hearing
than that.
and I was like, man, he is good at basketball and he is hot, but that is it.
He had to try. Like, he must have not studied, like, at all.
No,
Like,
I mean,
when
he
I
wasn't
took the SAT,
particularly good at school.
I just I did the test in record time
yeah,
because I didn't care and I didn't want to go to school.
yeah.
So I just did it to tell my parents that I did it, and then they got a score back. They're like, you did really poor. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't want to do this. You guys don't listen to me.
An 11.
Yeah, it was low.
Well, damn, I don't feel so bad.
I don't feel
What was
so
yours?
bad.
Like 20?
The very first time I got an 18.
Okay.
18,
I,
Jesus.
I know.
Oh.
The very first time I got an 18.
And then
Wow.
the very second time?
23. So I went
23, Jesus.
I know. All right, shut up.
Wow. All right.
All right.
I want to take one of those again.
Why?
Because I did not do well, and I want to see how
I
much
tried
I got,
everything.
just to see how poorly I would do as a functioning adult member of society.
Yeah, but it has no current relevance to your life. So
That's
how poorly
true.
you did, you just feel like, oh, okay. It's like, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Those shows where they're like, yeah, they take a kid. It's funny visually, but you took a kid who learned something last week
Yeah.
and then pit them against an
Yeah.
adult who hasn't used this information in 30 years.
And
And they
right.
go, hey, look, you don't even know what. You're like, yeah, the kid just studied
Go get a
it
home loan, kid.
Yeah.
Right, right.
It doesn't
That's right.
It doesn't show how smart you are. It shows how good you take tests. And I was never a good test taker. Like
That's the excuse
I
of every
hate that
stupid
excuse.
I don't
person.
care. It is true.
No, that's not-
How
that's
well
I had
you
pressure.
retain
I don't
had
take good
anxiety.
tests.
I had pressure. I
No,
took my test in
stop.
a-
Everyone has
I took my
anxiety
test
at a
in a
test.
sealed room.
But that's also like
I don't wanna hear it.
There's lots of people that are bad at tests,
I
and
am.
there's a lot of people
believe
that
that.
learn different ways. And to say that you're dumb because you don't do
let's
well
say
at tests.
All I'm thinking about is the time.
Let's say this.
Tell me how I take a test.
Let's say
Hold
this,
on.
okay?
Jesus.
Everyone has anxiety when they're taking tests.
I
There are people who learn different ways, but every person who flops a test will tell you, I take tests differently.
Well, I'm not one
I
of
don't
them."
learn that way. Like, okay, well, then I guess you're stuck here then.
I never
I need to
understood
find
it
my
because
flashcards.
it's like that is. It's
That's not how you
testing
measure intelligence.
How you retain information.
No one says it's a
Yeah.
measure of intelligence. It's not an IQ
No,
test.
it's
an
saying,
ACT or an SAT.
Hey, you learned this over the course of the year. Can you remember it? Do you remember what you learned?
And you study for
Yes.
it. It's not like Japan
Not
where like
necessarily.
they give you one test to determine are you a loser for the rest of your life, or do you get to go get a job? Like they give you a test of everything you've ever learned. Like Japanese people are jumping out of windows when they don't do well in these tests. Here, they have prep courses. They have. You'll never talk to somebody who got a great score on their ACT or SAT who complains about how anxious they were when they took the test.
Because they got a good score and they don't want to seem ungrateful. But
ungrateful? You worked your ass off for that score.
But I'm just saying,
ungrateful.
No one wants to seem like they're
everybody with an 11 goes,
you know what,
I don't test well. Obviously.
I didn't have an 11.
I was always the person, and I still take this into stand-up, where I would obsess over it and be like, I know I got that wrong. Like, I know I didn't do well. I think that I failed this test. And then I ended up getting an A on it or whatever.
Like
so, I mean, I'm just as anxious with just as much anxiety. Second guessing every single thing that I write down.
I don't know if you might have missed the bar on the OGTs.
In 10th grade.
Like, I remember.
Ohio graduation test.
The OGT was easy to me. It was easy, but my environment, I wasn't good. I was looking at the people around me. I was very distracted.
I can't believe you guys can remember taking these tests.
Well, you had to take it to graduate.
If you didn't pass the OGT, you weren't allowed to graduate.
Yeah,
That's why they gave it to you in 10th grade.
But how did I graduate? Because
You
I
had to
never
take-
took a
You
test
probably
serious.
didn't have to do it. You probably missed the mark. It was like our generation almost.
You had to take it starting in 10th grade, and you could retake it until you passed it. But if you did not pass this test, you could not graduate.
And all the dum-dums were in the back of the class.
It was an easy test, though.
Taking it 3 times, just drooling. I'm like, are you serious? This is a freshman year education test. And I knew the answers. I just didn't like that I was crunched for time. So then once they put me...
It's like 4 hours.
It's like life. Everything you're crunched for time. You got to do stuff in a certain amount of time.
I complained. I called my mom, and my mom made them put
What is
me-
your mom going to do? You called your mom. How many times did you take? You took the ACT or the SAT?
ACT.
No, I'm talking about the OGT.
Yeah, you know me. How many? Let's talk about the ACT, SAT. You said you got a 23 on your ACT.
I took it twice.
Twice. How many? And so when you got a 23, you go, that's good enough.
Well, that'll get me to what I need to do.
That'll get me what I want. Okay.
Yep, I stopped at that. But I'm talking about for the OGT, it wasn't the test that was psyching me out. I was in my own head, as usual, crunched for time. And I didn't know if I was answering the test thoroughly enough. So I did it, and the very first time I passed all of them except for math. So the only thing I had to retake the next year was math. And I complained. I was like, listen, I think the test really shook me up, and the time. Could I take it in another facility? And my mom talked to the school. They put me in another facility, and I passed it. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but
you don't want to hear what?
I don't want to hear it either. I don't want to hear it.
He's saying
any more
that
of him talking about having a hard time taking tests.
He's not a good test taker. He's not a good test
cares?
taker around other people. So because you could
Yeah, it's
apply
hard to
for this.
cheat.
Well, you could apply for this. Where they would be like, okay, they put you in a room with you, 2 other kids, and a moderator, and that's it. So that way you're not distracted by. It was for kids who had learning disorders.
Yep, I had a little.
Did you have a learning disorder?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had a cubicle.
Did he have one? He currently has one.
I had a little cubicle, and I'm in there. Check.
What was your learning disorder?
Well, I don't remember.
ADHD.
They must have told you. I mean, if you had one, if it was diagnosed, then they told you.
Well, I am ADD, but I never looked at that as.
You have ADD.
Well, in school, when I was going to school, they told me I had ADD, but I never took pills for it. I never did anything like that. But it also gave me an opportunity to have things at my disposal. So whenever I needed an opportunity to take. Or the
so
time
you
for a
had
test.
ADD.
You feel pressure right now.
You had ADD when it was convenient for you.
No,
you were able to take extended time on your test.
Yeah, I never used it as an excuse, but when I could use it as an excuse for a test or something like that to take
You just said you never used it as an excuse, but when I could use it as an excuse, I did. So which was it?
I barely used it as an excuse.
He's a bad guy.
It sounds to me like Poundcake Bill had a real hard time getting his ACT together.
You gave him a laugh on that?
It sounds like
my lion one got nothing?
That wasn't a real laugh.
But I never took pills for it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, is that some point of pride?
No, I never.
I don't get what you're trying to explain right now.
I needed help concentrating, and that was my problem. And once I got into a
What you
cubicle,
needed was a dad to just slap you on the back of the head and say, get to work.
if only I had
That's right.
one.
Yeah. Paper's cheap. Show your work.
If only I had one.
Hey, the world needs ditch diggers too.
Hey.
That's what people would say. No disrespect to ditch diggers. Obviously, we need them, but that's what all your parents would say.
I'm on my way.
Hey, listen, some people weren't meant to whatever, right? Yeah, you're on your way to something. I don't know what he's on his way to. No. Mr. 23 over here. 23 and me. Mm-hmm. He's like, all right.
23 and PC.
That's right. I got me in.
It got me in.
There
and I graduated. Like, a lot of people go to school and they don't finish out. I finished and graduated.
When you
finished and graduated.
I finished and I was done.
He was matriculating every night in his room.
I was done.
Yeah, I was done. I ain't gonna ever read another book ever. Yeah. All right. Well, good. Hey, let me get you hooked up with these Korn tickets. They're bringing Faith No More out with them. Co-headlining, so I guess Faith No More is bringing Korn out with them, too. Helmet and 68 on the bill. It's a good lineup. September 13th out at Blossom. Want to text for anything? 35192. Get to us at alancoxshow.com.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.
This is Brett Musburger, letting you know that all bets are on. The Gambler, Fox Sports 1350 is now on the air. Bringing